Mr. Chair.
So, MOM and TAFEP takes a serious view of workplace discrimination, including the use of age or race as a selection criteria. Other than requiring employers to attend corrective workshops conducted by TAFEP, employers can be advised to rectify lapses in their HR processes. MOM will not hesitate to take enforcement actions against discriminatory employers, such as curtailing their work pass privileges in more serious cases. We urge employees who experience any workplace discrimination to approach MOM or TAFEP for assistance. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Jessica Tan. Hang on. Mr. SQ. Mr. Edward Chia.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd like to ask the SMS SQ, can the Ministry actually do more in the area of greater awareness of fair employment best practices among employers, such as adopting similar like BizSafe framework, where senior executives of firms undergo structured training, and actually further to that, making a requirement to attend such training first before one can actually participate in government tenders, so that firms are clearly motivated to deepen knowledge in this particular area of best practice, fair best practices. Thank you.
So indeed, one of the approach that we want to emphasize on is also education of both employers and employees on what is actually constitutes workplace discrimination. So we will take the members' suggestions and study how we can better do this in the workplaces by actively correcting stereotypes and changing employers' mindsets through more promotional efforts. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Sharul Taha. Mr. Sharul Taha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, thank you, the SMS, for the reply. So, with regards to Minister's SMS reply on workplace discrimination, can the Ministry consider naming these errant employers who are found to have practiced workplace discrimination, with the intent that by naming them, both the company and the employees in the company will be motivated to adopt fair employment practices as soon as possible? And can the Ministry also consider that, given that SMEs account for more than 2/3 of employment in Singapore, such training for SMEs before they can recruit or hire individuals be made compulsory? Thank you.
So I thank the member for his idea to actually name and shame some of these employers who may have adopted discriminatory practices. Actually, currently, firms who may have some degree of discriminatory practices may be put on a Fair Consideration Framework or FCF watch list. And in firms that are on this watch list, technically they have not flouted any rules yet, but perhaps some of their practices may be veering on the grey margins. And it is through some of these putting on the watch list that we actually use it as a way to engage the firms and signal to them that their practices have to be improved. And in most instances, employers who are on this FCF watch list have been responsive to TAFEP's engagement efforts and expanded the employment of local employees on a more less discriminatory way. And in this instance, such engagement is also an educational effort for companies or firms who may not actually be aware upfront some of the nuancing of the guidelines on fair employment. So I think we want to take a very educational approach, because not every firm who may on prima facie seems to have infringed on some of the regulations could actually be doing it in a very deliberate way. And sometimes through these efforts, firms do change their practices for the better. Now, naming firms sometimes could also end up having a negative consequence because it would then frustrate their efforts to actually recruit and hire people, and it may then have the negative consequence of actually impeding some of the business functions that this firm has as well. So we would want to probably go on a more educational approach. And as I said, for firms who, despite our efforts to engage them, refuse or have persisted in their discriminatory actions, we will take enforcement actions against them. Thank you, sir.
Sir Patrick Day.
Thank SMS for the sharing, and I want to ask you, essentially, the labour movement, together with SNEF, has been engaging more than 10,000 professionals, managers, executives the past year. And I think one important observation, as you rightly point out, education efforts important, but these two communities, the HR community as well as the employment agents and agency community, are two communities which we feel very strongly need to be better educated, better be given knowledge and awareness of some of these advisories, guidelines, including legislation, particularly as many of them are from multinational companies and across the globe. So can I suggest to SMS to pay particular attention to these two groups?
So I thank the members for his comments, and indeed, HR practitioners and employment agencies are an area of engagement that MOM want to focus on because they form the link between the employers and the hiring practices of the company. So we will increase our engagement with these intermediaries, such as HR practitioners. Thank you, sir.